So you need tips for Toy Merchant? I got you covered. Here are 4 tips for her. Number 1. Get to know your catapult locations. While she is not the strongest supporter, her catapult allows a good amount of head starts and chases. Her catapult should be usually always placed or aimed at a window, where you and your teammates can jump trough. But again, practice the placements in custom matches, since if you are not familiar with the placements, all you would do in real-time matches is just waste time, and in the worst scenario, you would get yourself or your teammates downed. Number 2. Forget about chests. While your toy box starts with one random item, it might be trash or decent depending on the situation, but Toy Merchant's box is very situational and might not get you always any value. So overall, focus on decoding and ignore the chests that you walk by, especially if there's only one in your team who can pick them up. The best tip for the items in your box is either keep them in your box and throw them to the chase one if he or she is running by while you're decoding, or place them on well-known kiting routes. Another option is also leaving the item next to the catapult, since the catapult can be seen by all survivors on the map, and if they run to it, some of them might be able to pick them up during chase. But overall, avoid focusing too much on her toy box, since it's one of the weaker abilities in her kit. Number 3. Pre-place your catapults correctly. When you arrive on a new cipher, gate, or even teammates to heal them, it's usually better to pre-place your catapults in case the hunter would arrive. The direction should be usually always the reverse direction of where the hunter is coming from, but here comes the funny part. First, you have to guess from where he might come. Usually it's enough to just use your head and remember where he is most likely to come from. So remembering the spawn locations or keeping track of the hunter aura should help you a lot with that. For early game, finding the correct catapult direction might be though, but just remember you're in the hunter's spawn location. It's always important to do some predictions, like thinking about if you were the hunter in this situation, which way would you go? Predicting your enemy's move is very important in games like these, since these can be game deciding. So it's usually the best to think about how the enemy would act in situations like these before you actually act. Number 4. Play her the way you find her the most useful. Toy Merchant can be played in various ways. Either you play her like a container, so basically keep all the catapults to yourself. Or you play her like a rescuer with support abilities. You can also play her like a mix of between support and contain. But personally, I would recommend you to play her like a rescuer type, since her glider allows great rescues and helps you to dodge a lot of attacks from the hunter. But if there is already a good amount of rescuers in your team, it's up to you how you play her. Just remember, if you play her as a mix of support and contain, a base rule is usually use one catapult for support, while keep the other one for yourself. Just remember, in rank depending on your tier, you might change the way you play her, since uncoordinated teammates in low tier probably might not even use your catapults at all. Oh, and a little general tip for her, try to keep her catapult saved from the hunter if possible. Pre-dropping pallets is usually a good idea to make the hunter lose interest at destroying the catapult or chasing you. But this usually depends on the pallet area and other many factors, so try your best at preventing it getting destroyed. But in case it gets destroyed, you tried your best and nothing more you could do. Have fun jumping around. Bye-bye.
That was a large cat. Cheeseburger?
That's the last thing she needs.